Hey, all right. So, look, I just want to take a little time here to go over some things. So, as a coach and a mentor, one of the biggest things that I need to provide for my clients is motivation transformation, right? We have unlimited information at our fingertips. All of us can get on our phone or on the computer and find out ridiculous tons of information on any subject that we want. If all that you needed to get the change or the outcome in your life that you're after is information, then you would already have that outcome because unlimited information is available for free, right? So in light of that, I want to share some things along the lines of transformation, right? And I think transformation comes from motivation, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing here. So I got something I want to share with you here. So here we're looking at a ball, and there's stuff in the ball, right? And what I want to ask you is, what do you see? Because everybody sees something different. And that perception is going to change your outcome. And what made me think about this was I'm seeing all these, gimmicky ads on Facebook, and I've seen, let's say less than savory characters offering certain things. And I know that myself included, we tend to get exhausted or even jaded because we're just tired of seeing or hearing it. And I think more importantly, for those of us, if you're like me and you really genuinely care, then you're really tired of being disappointed and having your heart broke because you believe somebody, right? So that's what I just want to get into here. What do you see? So if this were wheat, the next picture here is a dry pint, right? A pint of wheat is about a pound. I just want to give you sort of a visual representation here so you can picture it. Of course, here's something that a lot of people have seen too. This would be a wet pint, but it's the same volume, right? Depending on what exactly is going into it. So a pound of wheat is about a pint. About a pound of wheat fits into a pint. What can you do with a pound of wheat? So, am I drawing here? Yeah. I like to talk about faith. It's our ability to do something, create something, get something that we don't already have anywhere other than our mind, right? Some people call it hope, some people call it expectation. I just like to use the word faith because that's the innate power that all humans have to create or manifest something that they wish or hope to have, right? And I want to talk about two things here. Remember when I was talking about the wheat a minute ago? I want to say that your outcome, what you're looking for, is a combination of two things: potential plus investment. Now I want to bring that back to what I was talking about a minute ago. That the ads, the gimmicks, the products, the programs that we're all seeing, right? If you really want an outcome, and I think I talked about this before, the chances of the outcome that you're looking for coming in a bottle or a pill, or have you tried this product? Have you tried this technique? The chances of the answer of you actually getting a real outcome out of something that simple are very narrow. This what I'm pointing out here, potential plus investment, is just a law of life, right? Even if you go to a doctor and get the result that you want, you still didn't violate this law. The potential was there. That's what they study when they go to school to become a doctor, what the potential of the human body is and what the potential of the particular drug is. And as far as the investment goes, maybe all that you're paying for is your deductible, but it's still being paid for by the insurance company, and you still have to make the investment of spending the time to see the doctor. You have to trust the doctor, and you have to actually take the medication that he says you need, right? So let's go back to what you see. Water, that pint or 1 pound of wheat, depending on what you do with it, could be used to make roughly a large loaf of bread, right? And that's the potential was already there, right? The potential was in the grain. And then the investment that you make is grinding it up, baking it, right? And turning it into a loaf of bread. But what if you did something else with it? And this is another thing I want to talk about with expectations, with programs or whatever. When somebody's promising a certain outcome to you, if they say, if you take this product or if you work this program or whatever, that it's going to fix your problems. I want to challenge you on one aspect that actually could be true for some people and not true for other people, just simply based on the potential and the amount of investment that they put into it. And I'm not one that likes to rely on other people for my success, right? I want to be proactive about the results that I'm going to get, and I don't want to just put that up to somebody else. And so I'm committed on my end with the investment, right? But the thing that I want you to understand is the level of commitment that you have for what you're willing to invest in your outcome. It's just sort of a quirk or law of nature that's almost always directly proportionate to the amount of potential that you have. So, if all humans are created equal, right? When you come into something, if things are hard and you're having challenges, you have to come to a place where you decide that you're drawing a line in the sand because you want the outcome. You want things to change. What I've found is, as a coach, as a person whose responsibility it is to try to motivate people, I find that the number one challenge that I have isn't with people not wanting the results. I mean, most people don't want to suffer anymore, but very rarely do I come across people who really have the passion to fix it. In other words, most people have the same potential for the outcome, but what they're willing to invest varies hugely, right? And I can help you with that, and I understand it's my job to help you with that. I'm just trying to open your mind up to potential. That same pound of wheat could be planted, and if you planted that, you would have a field, just the 1 pound of wheat, roughly the size of a tennis court. Now, what are we doing here? Well, we're changing the investment. That same grain, wheat, hasn't changed potential, but we've changed the investment. Now, instead of grinding it up and baking it and turning it into bread, we're putting it into the ground to grow something, right? And so the investment that we're making now is work and time. Man, I think if any of us will be honest with ourselves, we know that a real outcome, something that's really going to improve our lives, that's worth having, is going to take an investment. It's going to take some time, or it's going to take some work, or it's going to take some money. It may take a combination of any of those three, but I think we all know that, right? If you were to plant that pound of seed, you're going to get a field about the size of a tennis court. That field will yield about 1.5 bushels of new wheat. I found this infographic here. So this is only 1 bushel. It's actually 1.5 bushels. So with the right investment, 1 pound of wheat could give you 1.5 would be 90 loaves of whole grain bread. Now, if I were to say to you, I can show you how to get 90 loaves of bread out of 1 pound of wheat, I think most people wouldn't believe me. They'd say, this is quackery. They'd say, you know, you're a hack. What kind of a scam artist is this? Well, what I want you to understand is that's only, if you're only looking at the potential of the 1 pound without the rest of the picture, right? Without the investment, then you're not seeing the whole picture. Because given a season, then you can turn 1 pound of wheat into 90 loaves of bread. So it actually is true, but there's an investment there. There's a time. There's a season. Here we go. Just another that talks about, you know, how much that would turn into, right? And again, it's just rough numbers, but I just want to give you an idea. This is all coming from 1 pound of wheat. You can make 90 pounds. This is only 1 bushel. Like I said, 1 pound should give you a yield of about 1.5 bushels, right? 53 boxes of cereal, or 72 pounds of flour tortillas, or 210 servings of spaghetti. Now, because, you know, in America, often we get 2 harvests per year out of wheat. We have a spring harvest and a winter harvest. You have spring wheat, winter wheat, right? If you were to go in it and take another season to invest some time and some work with that seed, that 1.5 bushels, then you'd be able to plant an entire acre of seed. An acre is about the size of a football field. So put that into perspective, how that multiplies. Now, what if I were to tell you, right, that you could make 1 pound of wheat turn into an entire football field, or, you know, 1,000 loaves of bread? That seems far-fetched. But what I'm talking about here is motivation, right? That's the root of what we do. And, you know, obviously that I deal with rewiring the stress response. Just about everyone I work with is having, you know, uncomfortable, hurtful, you know, bad manifestations of that, and they want that to go away. What I want to encourage you to look at, to consider, is that the answer isn't logically going to be, you know, in a pill or a supplement, or going and, you know, and asking the doctor to fix it. There's going to be, you already have the potential. That's the really cool thing. And that's the reason that I post these testimonials of the people we've already worked with, because the potential's there, right? If you just rewire the brain to shut down that fight or flight response. But that's where your investment comes in, right? And remember what I said? Don't leave your success or your outcome in the hands of somebody else. I want you to know that healing is inherent. It's the natural order of things with humans. Your body wants to heal. If you're uncomfortable with the symptoms, the fact that you're uncomfortable is proof that your body is saying, hey, this isn't normal, right? So I really just wanted to share that with you. I hope that's encouraging. Let's go back to the whiteboard here for a second. Remember I talked about this? Faith being the combination of your potential and your investment. And really all this is about is if you're serious about getting the outcome. If you want to talk about it, that's okay. If you want to learn more about it, that's okay. That's just not what I do, because that's not my job. My job is to get you the outcome, the transformation, not information, because you already have all the information that a person could possibly use. So in order to get the outcome, or the object of our faith, our hope, what we're believing for, the expectation, whatever you want to call it, it's going to take potential, and it's going to take an investment. Think about that. Because so many of the people that I come into contact with say that they want the outcome, but are actually willing to do very little to get that outcome. And one of the things, it almost sounds harsh for me to point out, it's just an observation. I have no judgment or emotion tied to this. But because I look at a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I do, I'm on there all the time, I see that most people, when they're having an issue, one of the first things that they do is go to the internet. And if it's a medical issue, then, they Google the symptoms and then try to diagnose themselves. If it's, if it's some other kind of issue, then I go, get on Facebook and find a support group, right? Or find a forum that talks about that particular issue. And I want to challenge you that, number one, that group, that forum, that Facebook group, how would it continue to grow in numbers if everybody in there no longer had the problem, right? So what I'm suggesting is that you have to break the cycle that so many of us do of just, well, try this. Have you tried this, right? Have you tried this? None of those try these things are likely to actually give you the outcome that you want. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many people there in the group. They wouldn't be talking about it. It'd be a simple solution. Do this, and the problem's gone. So dig in. Think about it. This is really a heart issue. To me, it is. And I think that's where the disconnect is. I think somewhere between your head and trying to rationalize, what's this going to cost me? How am I going to do this? Is this going to work? Am I getting ripped off? I think all those questions in your head disrupt what the real message in your heart is. I want to be better. I know I'm called to greater things than this. I know, I don't want my family to continue to, in the case of stress, right? I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be irritated all the time. I don't want to lay in bed and not be able to sleep. I don't want to be sweaty, whatever, right? It's real easy in your heart to say, I don't want those things and I want to fix it. But then the head gets in the way, right? And then we have all this cognitive dissonance. I want to challenge you to listen to your heart. I don't know how you're going to get awesome transformation without an awesome mentor. And that's what I want to challenge you today. Find a great mentor. Do the research that you need to do to find somebody who can give you the outcome that you want and that you can connect with. It's a right fit, right? But on a certain level, you have to trust your heart on that. If you know they can give you the outcome and you know in your heart that this is a good fit for you, then you have to trust your heart. Because I don't think the what ifs are ever going to stop, especially in the world where I'm working with, where people who have anxiety tend to have over anxious or over analyzing thoughts. Their brains that are saying, what if, what if, what if, what if anyway, right? Anyway, there's a lot going on in the world right now. There's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of, there's a lot of scammy and fake stuff out there. And I always wanted to be the anti that. Hope you can hear my heart on this. If you need help, reach out. If you book a call with me, we're going to talk about where you're at. We're going to talk about where you want to be, and we're going to lay out a plan for you to get there. That's what we do. That's my heart to help. You know if I'm talking to you, you know if this is a fit. If it is, then reach out. If it's not, that's great. You can hang out and glean information and be encouraged, or share it with somebody else who does need it, and it will be a good fit for. I mean, I hope this speaks with you. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day.